Tuesday, September 30th, 4:31 p.m. New York time. Welcome back, investors, to Winning Wall Street's Money. Today's the last trading day of the month. We're ending the third quarter of the year. So bye-bye September. Hello, October. October will be starting the fourth quarter of the year. Yep, in the month of October, the companies will be releasing their corporate earnings for the past quarter. Be free public information, as well as the big shareholders, institutions that invest in those companies, such as mutual funds, hedge funds, and some big other investors will be disclosing, it's required, it's free information, of what they done with their portfolios, either selling or buying stocks. Big information, but again, it's already outdated. Those events already occurred, and they occurred within the past 3 months. But there will be people chasing those companies. Tonight, if the federal government does not approve the budget, Congress, government shuts down tomorrow. S&P 500 cash index. 10-year chart, close for the month, higher high, higher low, all-time new high. That's the S&P 500 stock index, the major stock index. Go to the NASDAQ 100, same thing, all-time new high. This is part of the S&P 500. Again, the S&P 500, 500 companies, this index is inside that S&P 500. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, also all-time high, it's part of the S&P 500. Oops. So S&P 500, all-time new high, as well as the two indexes inside of it I showed you. The Dow Transports, this index is also in the S&P 500. It did inside candle. It didn't take out the high or low of last month. That's an indecision candle. And also, the individual company, one of the companies, there's 20 companies in this index, UPS, I just showed what happened to that. But the stocks and options, very interesting what happened near the market close. Dow Utilities did close green for the month, but lower high, lower low than last month. It's part of the S&P 500. And the Russell 2000 made an all-time new high and took out the high of last year. It is not part of the S&P 500. So majority of the stock indexes made higher highs, higher lows for the month, ending the third quarter. We're going to look at the stock sectors inside the S&P 500. 11 sectors inside the S&P 500. Technology. This index is very similar to the NASDAQ. Look at that, all-time new high. Healthcare, far away from the all-time new high. Here's a high of the year. Here's a high of last year. So we did close green for the month, higher high, higher low, way underperforming since last year. Financials, do high for the year. Very small trading range for the whole month. Extremely small trading range. Look at that, almost like a dodgy candle, top of a trend. Very suspicious. Yeah, look. There's huge trading range on the technology sector. And the financials, little tiny body, little wicks on top and bottom. Consumer discretionary, all-time new high for the year and took out the high of last year. Outstanding. There we go. Communication services, all-time new high. All these that I'm showing are stock ETFs. You could trade them. You could invest in them. Industrial. Nope. It did close green for the month. Higher high, higher low. Hasn't taken out the high of the year. Consumer staples actually did worse. Lower high, lower low. Inside this key level and closed inside of it. Momentum's down. Energy below the highs of the prior years. Closed red for the month. Utilities. Okay, big trading range. Still hasn't taken out the high of earlier last month. Real estate, way below the highs. Small trading range here too, almost like a dodgy. Basic materials, that's suspicious. Inside candle for the month, right here in consolidation. Solid body equivalent to a red. Let's go to the very popular Magnificent Seven. These companies I'm going to show you are heavily weighted averages in the major indexes. Apple, new high for the year, still below the highs of last year, underperforming last year. Now remember, Apple gets special favors from the president. First, other companies do not, because Apple is still producing its products and it getting exempt from the tariffs being made in China. Special favoritism to this company and several other companies. Public information. Amazon, new high for the month. Higher high, higher low, closing red, rejection, forming bearish pin bar. Google, all-time new high. Meta, lower high, lower low. So it performed worse than last month. Microsoft, yep, trending down, lower highs, lower low. New low for this month. NVIDIA, new high. One day I'll learn how to pronounce that. Maybe not. Tesla, new high for the year. Still underperforming from last year. Okay, they're all part of this index. It's the NASDAQ 100. Remember, this index made an all-time new high, and those companies are weighted average in here. I'm going to also include a very popular company, Netflix. It's also in the NASDAQ 100, but it's not Magnificent 7. Close green, higher high, higher low, a little dodgy candle. There you go. We just saw the monthly charts for the past 10 years, major stock indexes, the 11 stock sectors, and the Magnificent 7. Quite a bit of difference on several of the indexes, sectors, as well as the companies. They are not all trending up. They are not all-time new highs. Thank you as always, spending just a little time with me. That's it for the video. Thank you for watching.